Hello and welcome to Cash in the Celebrity Attic, the programme that searches the homes of the famous for all those collectibles and antiques and then takes them off to auction to sell them to raise money for truly good charitable causes. Now today I'm on my way to meet a much loved and very popular comedian. And by the way, my new pals are not part of the programme. Now, he's the son of an Olympic runner. He was christened Robert Christopher Nankeville, very imposing, and he made his name at live from Her Majesty's at the ripe old age of 24. However, these days he's become a very accomplished actor, notably for his role as Vinnie Monks in EastEnders. Now, do you know who it is yet? Today I'm down by the River Thames in Surrey to meet Bobby Davro. Always the joker, Bobby is one of the country's most popular comedians, so we're bound to be in for a fun day's rummaging. Helping with the search is Bobby's girlfriend Vicky Wright, who has a showbiz background of her own because she's the daughter of one of the famous Beverly sisters. Coming up on today's Cash in the Celebrity Attic, does Paul have a new admirer?
I think it's a very handsome piece, actually.
Yeah, well, he's not that good looking.
It's just these trousers, Vicky.
He's certainly got competition for the cheesy jokes.
What could I expect to get from this? 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds?
And despite a difficult start in the sale room...
There you go. How's that?
Painful.
Think of the money I spent.
We can barely believe our luck with some results. It's madness.
Madness. Complete madness.
Brilliant. But will we have reached our target when the final hammer falls? Hi, Paul.
Good morning, how are you?
Posh.
I know.
Grand,
Isn't
don't
it
you think?
fantastic, eh? Isn't it
It's great.
exciting?
You're going to be in your element because you like a touch of humour, don't you?
Yes, now I believe today we've got a bit of a singer, a bit of a comedian.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing my house, are you?
Look like yourself, actually.
Exactly, yes.
I know, because you sing a little bit.
Yes. Tell bad
And
jokes.
you tell awful jokes. So I'm hoping for some good comedy today. The only thing is, this house is newish. And so I'm wondering if Bobby will have any sort of antique things or collections.
Well, I know he's a funny man, so whether he's a serious collector, who knows, but it'd be great to have a look round.
Tell you what he will have, though. He's bound to have some showbiz memorabilia. And, you know, he's not that old, but I tell you what, he's done a heck of a lot in a very short time.
Exactly.
Do you want to come with me then,
Of course.
love? Okay.
Walk this way.
Bobby lives in this very impressive property in Surrey, which he spent the last few years renovating and remodelling. Although it looks immaculately tidy, I suspect there's memorabilia tucked away everywhere, and maybe some more conventional antiques as well. I know, it's got to be one of the best entertainers in the country. It's Bobby Davro. I love it to see you.
Gloria,
And this
how
is
are
Vicky.
you?
How are you,
The
Vicky?
lovely Vicky.
The lovely Vicky. I might have known, of course, that you'd be living in mansion proportions.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's
Man
very
of
flattering,
taste.
isn't it?
No, but you've always had. I mean, you've had a lot of houses.
I have. I've been in a lot of houses. Yeah. I'm a burglar.
So how long have you been in this house?
I've been in this house for 5 years now, just coming up to 5.5 years. I've done lots of things to it, you know, putting flooring down and kitchens, as you'll see as you walk through.
Don't tell me Bobby Davro has become domesticated after all these years.
Reasonably, I have, you know. So I try my hardest.
And then, Vicky, of course, you're from a showbiz family as well. The Beverly sisters.
That's it. Joy's my mum. Yeah.
Joy, and Billy
Yeah.
Wright would have been your dad,
Yes.
of course.
Certainly.
Yep.
And do they still perform?
They still work. They've cut right down now. They're enjoying the grandchildren now.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
Did you ever work with the Beverlys, or are you too young?
No, I
to
never
work
worked with the Beverleys. I met them before, because I actually met Vicky 23 years ago when she was in her own group called the Little Foxes. And they used to tour with me when I used to tour the theatres back in the late 80s.
We were his support.
You were my support act.
still am in a
She
way.
still is a support
I was going to say, here you
I
are.
need a support act. I get to that age.
I didn't like to say that.
I know.
But we're really pleased that you're doing Cash in the Attic. So what is your charity today?
It's for the Rhys Daniels charity. I've supported them with golf days, and we'll talk about it a little later on, won't we? And we'll go into it in depth. But it's
Exactly.
a fantastic charity, and let's
It
hope
is.
we raise. I'd like to raise a monkey, if you know
yeah,
the phrase.
monkey.
Yes, yeah, £500. It is a monkey, isn't it? Yeah, it's a monkey. Raise a monkey.
As you can see, Bobby's a real bundle of energy, so hopefully that'll rub off on the rest of us as we set to work rummaging. Now, a man who's never lacking in enthusiasm for antiques is our expert Paul Hayes. He's got his hands full with such a large property to search today, but I know he just loves a challenge. And it looks like Bobby's spotted our first find already. As always, he can't resist trying to get a laugh.
Oh, give us a twirl, love. No, you have to kick your train like Shirley Bassey does. Yeah, that's
like no Shirley. Wow, I'm getting very campy now. And, yeah. Is it certainly good?
That is fantastic. What is it, Bobby?
It's a kimono, obviously. Yeah, Japanese.
It's a kind of dragon.
I don't think...
I don't know.
It's the dragon.
Let's just see the design in the back. Actually, beautiful fabric.
That's fantastically made, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. It's actually a lady's bridal dress. It's a kimono. Yes. Not to upset you there.
And you've been wearing it as a dressing gown.
I have. I've been wearing it as a dressing gown.
Well, there's one little tip, actually, with kimonos. You have to fasten them left over right. You know that?
Oh, yeah.
So that has to go that way. If you do it the other way around, that's how they dress a corpse.
Look at your little
There you go.
The other way they dress the corpse.
They dress the corpse the other way around.
Dare I ask where it came from?
Well, I think I got this from a pantomime somewhere. Aladdin or something.
Right.
Oh, right.
I love the fabric.
It's amazing, yeah. I mean, obviously, these go back generations in ancient Japan and China, and it's the national dress, really. But if you translate the word kimono, it actually means wearing thing or thing to wear.
Okay.
Ki is wearing, mono is thing. And that really was what people used to do. And
So that was standard dress, was it?
That was standard dress. But these bright, very long ones, any that have a train like that at the bottom, they're for ceremonial, for public wear. So if you were going to like a wedding or an important event, and the whole thing would be fastened with an obi, which is like a big belt, but very, very symbolic. You've got the chrysanthemum here, which is the national flower of Japan, and that's a peace and harmony symbol.
So what do you reckon this could fetch in the auction if I were to auction this?
Coming from yourself, obviously, I mean, if we said, around the £50 mark and then anything else is up to yourself, what I would like to see, actually, is Bobby sell that. I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay.
So will you wear it on the day?
Of course I would, Gloria. This is after all, it's my wedding night gown, isn't it? Come here, gorgeous.
Ooh, you are awful, but I like you. Now everybody's got to get back to work because we've got £500 to find today. Luckily, whilst Bobby's been playing dress up, girlfriend Vicky has been very hard at work, and she's found a modern mantel clock in one of the other bedrooms. Paul hopes it will make £20 to £40. And I've headed off to the garage, where I get a taste of the med with this set of 3 modern Italian prints. They've been gathering dust ever since Bobby redecorated, so get packed off to auction with a £70 to £100 price tag. Meanwhile, back at the house, it seems our rummage is causing some disputes.
Well, I'm not that keen to get rid of it.
No, but I think you should, because you've not used them. They've not been up, they've not been out.
Now that you two are not disturbing anything, are we? I don't think.
We're having a domestic.
Come and help us out, because I so think that these should be up for auction.
She doesn't like them. To be honest with you, Paul, I was going to sell these and replace where they've come from with some other furniture.
It's a perfect reason for them to go.
OK, right. So you're not going to use these, that's the main thing.
No, I'm going to get rid of them.
Right. But this style is neoclassical. It's the rediscovery of the classics. And what happened in the 18th century, we'd do our grand tour.
Yeah.
The gentlemen would go around and would visit the ancient sites in Rome and Greece and into Egypt, and they would see all these wonderful original items, and they would bring the style back. And what we've got here is a classical example. You've got these torchère figures, which would be protectors in the ancient world, and these actually would be illuminated. There'd be oil burners on the top. And then down here you would have the lion's paw, and that was often a power symbol in ancient Rome and Greece. And I would say this is very much the Greek style, and it never really goes out of fashion. It's a wonderful style to have. Solid marble, but it's designed to be a console table. Have you heard of that?
It does. This bit goes above the table.
That's it.
And I guess this one, I suppose I can put into the auction, I guess.
think
If it's
you have
going to raise a few quid, I mean, what's it going to
Well, it certainly would. I mean, I can see this either inside or outside, actually. I think it's quite a usable item. I mean, I reckon 150, 250 pounds, that sort of price band. How does that sound?
That sounds pretty good to me for this...
I think it's a very handsome piece, actually.
Yeah, well, he's not that good looking.
It's just these trousers. Come on, let's keep looking.
Go on, Ed.
Sorry, Paul, better luck next time. However, it's certainly a handsome addition to the charity fund. Now, our search has got off to a flying start, so I can't resist taking Bobby up on an offer of a cuppa.
You're the son of an Olympic runner. Were you good at sport when you were growing up?
No, not really. I'm an all-round athlete. Well, I used to be, but I'm just all-round now, basically. And
I was about to say, where did the comedy creep in your childhood? But I rather guess it's been there all the time.
It's always been there. And do you know what? One of my hobbies is the collection of jokes And I love jokes, and I used to, from the very early part of my career, have an exercise book, and I used to write all the jokes that I liked, you know, ones that I nicked, and ones that I'd heard, ones that I thought about, ideas. And I began to enjoy jokes, and then of course I was a good mimic at the time. So in fact, that's how I really came up, through being a mimic. People remember me as the impressionist. And where all the impressionists, who were all excellent mimics, they were sort of sticking to the Norman Wisdom, Mr. Grimsdale, and all that, you know. I mean, I used to do the thing, Spencer's, but I always was the younger guy, that was always trying new impressions. So I was always taking characters that hadn't been done before, like Alex Higgins and people like that, you know. From those days, you know, it was I was sort of the John Coleshaw and the Alistair McGowan of the day. Back in the late 80s when I had my shows, I had 6 series, believe it or not.
So that's what, like Davro on the Box?
Davro's Weekly, Davro on the Box, the Bobby Davro Show. And I miss, from television now, the creative sense of things. You know, I miss going in and rehearsing and learning new impressions and doing new stuff. And this is why last year, of course, I went into EastEnders.
Yeah, that was a terrific break.
Yes.
And a great avenue to go down that was very different for you.
Fantastic. I loved every minute of it.
I bet, but on the other hand, it must have been one heck of a learning curve, because you hadn't been known for your acting per se.
No.
So how did you adjust to the EastEnders set when you first went in?
Very nervous. I didn't think I'd be quite so nervous, but the first day I walked into the Vic and went, hello, I'm Vinnie Monks, how you doing? And I was working with Barbara Windsor and of course all the team, and I was so nervous. You know, I had to hold some toilet rolls. This was the first scene, and all the toilet rolls went everywhere. I'm sorry, I was just a bit nervous, you know. And it took me a few weeks to settle down. But once I got into it, and the people there, they were so fantastic. So yeah, I would like to do other acting jobs.
In the meantime, I recommend your tea making.
Yes, well, I'll never get one of these cooking shows, eh? They always say if you can't bake a cake, wood stain your floor, or dig up your garden, you can't get on TV. But there
Listen,
you go.
I'm going to drag you off to another part of your gorgeous house, because we have to keep on working towards this great charity.
Good,
Bring your
good
tea
news.
with you, yeah.
Walk this way.
Whilst we've been talking showbiz, our star of the antiques world has found an item with a celebrity connection of its own. This pop art style print of the legendary Frank Sinatra, which Paul hopes will make a very musical £30 to £40. And our charity fund gets topped up yet again when Vicky digs out this boxed decanter and glasses in the kitchen. Originally it was bought in the world-famous Harrods store. They're in pristine condition because they've never been used, and we're hoping they'll make £40 to £70. Meanwhile, the boys have headed out to the garage, and Bobby's made a hopefully above-par discovery.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. Aha!
Now then, what you got?
What about this?
Oh, look
My
at that.
golf bag, my very own, look, monogrammed. Is that worth any?
That certainly is. I mean, is that your own range of products?
Well, they just gave me this golf bag. I'm going to bring out my own golf range, of course.
Go on then, what's that going to be called?
Hacker. I'm really naff. No, you get an umbrella. I'll chuck in the umbrella as well.
Brilliant.
And the one golf ball I haven't managed to lose.
Right, but you're a serious golfer then, obviously you take that.
Well, I'm a religious golfer. Across here, across there, you know.
Oh, hey!
Like
Well, do you know, you're not on your own, actually. I think we've turned into a nation of golfers. There's nothing like it as the wandering around, nice walk on the greens.
a good walk spoilt, they called it.
That's what they say, don't they, actually?
Yes.
Yeah. But are you into vintage golf? I mean, do you know where the actual term comes from?
No, I don't.
Right.
Enlighten me, Mr. Paul.
Golf is an old Scottish word, actually, for to hit or to strike.
All right.
But legend has it that golf actually translates as gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. You know that?
Oh, yeah, because there still exists a lot in some of these golf courses. They're a bit sexist. They don't let the ladies in.
Yeah, but I think more and more now we're all cosmopolitan. It's becoming
course.
more a thing, isn't it?
Of course.
But vintage golf stuff is great. A few years back, they sold a set of 12 clubs that were reputed to be used by the first US Open champions. But do you know how much they fetched?
No.
Over £600,000.
600,000?
Yep. There you go.
I've got that.
So, are you happy to get rid of it? Is that all right?
I think I would be. What could I expect to get from this? 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds?
I reckon probably 30 to 50 quid.
That's good news.
Does that sound all right to you?
I'm quite happy with that. That's good news. So,
Great stuff.
Well, off we go then.
Right,
We'll play
okay.
around a bit. You're going to have to carry him.
Do you want me to carry on?
Yes.
Are you going to call me a caddy?
You're a caddy. Come on.
I knew that was coming.
Clearly, it's the new comedy double act, but with another £30 in the kitty, it's no joke. Now, back in the house, I've found a poster of the late 70s group Madness. Music lover Bobby got it signed by the whole band at one of their gigs. And Paul hopes the bidders will get stars in their eyes and splash out £50 to £100. And Bobby's also decided to part with this signed picture of world-renowned boxing legends, including John Stracey, Charlie Magri and John Conti. We're hoping it stands a fighting chance in the sale room with £100 to £125 estimate. Well, we're racing now towards our £500 target, but I hope our Mr. Hayes hasn't got distracted from his rummaging duties.
Darling, darling, darling.
hello.
You know that I'm your greatest fan.
Thank you very
You
much.
have a
But you
number
have to
2
stop
fan.
Oh, another fan. Oh, right.
Fluttering.
There you
He's
go.
in his element.
Oh, yeah, go on then, you might as well. There we are.
Heart's
You know,
fluttering.
I'll tell you why, because we've been up rummaging, literally in the attic, and we've
Really?
come up with an absolute gem of Vicky's.
Well, this is very personal to me. And
I can feel the love already.
Can you feel the love? Love being the operative word.
Yes.
This was a handmade tapestry that my mother and the twins did completely on their own. They made this beautiful item, and they used to do these in the dressing room, and they have a little collection of them, and have never really done anything with them, but they're all beautiful and they're all hand done. And they were doing 8 weeks with Liberace at the London Palladium, very big gig for them.
Wow.
And they used to sit in their dressing room and do this in between times while they were waiting. And apparently Liberace used to come down to their dressing room and sit with them. And he used to choose the colours, and he used to say, oh, I think you should do a pink one there, and why don't you fill it with a
And to
little
prove
pale
the
pink?
point, we actually have a photograph of Liberace with
look
the
at them
Beverly
on that
Sisters.
season. So this is that. Yeah, this is the actual proof, and on the
Yeah,
back, I think
so
they've even written with Liberace at the Palladium.
Palladium, yes. At what age were you when you realised that your mum and your aunts were famous?
Well, Joy is my mother.
This one.
Okay.
Joy. I never realised the extent of their popularity or their fame. I knew we were different. I just knew that we weren't the same as the other mums and dads at school. And Mum would come in a hat, and I'd think, oh, please let's just be the same as the other mums. Don't come and be different. And we'd always get stopped in the street, so I would remember nothing ever went smoothly. Wherever we were going, we'd be stopped because they'd be asked for autographs and stuff.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. I mean, in the 1950s and 60s, they were the household name, weren't they? I remember reading somewhere that they were the first female group to top America. They got the first top 10.
They were.
And
Yes,
I think for about 20 years, they were the biggest female act that Britain had ever produced. So that's amazing. So, but obviously they're not famous for cushions. But I mean, having the Liberace connection there as well is great. And I think someone would love to know exactly what went on at the Palladium as well. You got all that connection. You got Bobby's connection yourself. So, I mean, if I said at least £50 and just see where it ends up.
I know, but you wouldn't be able to buy that cushion brand new in any shape or form
No.
for £50.
If it adds a little bit, then I'll be happy.
Well, I'm sure it
It's
will.
my small
Okay,
contribution.
well, let me take this off. You give me
Okay.
another little tinkle as we're
yes.
both fans.
Any requests, I can play badly or somewhere else.
That's lovely.
I love it. Another £50 in the pot thanks to Vicky's family. Bobby's house has things tucked away all over the place, and Paul spots this pair of ornate marble and metal lamp bases under the stairs. Bobby bought them a few years ago, but despite being modern, Paul still values them at £60 to £100. I have a feeling that Bobby's £500 target is safe by this stage, but Paul and Vicky carry on searching for a final few finds.
Anytime I ever talk to you, it's always a laugh. But
Yeah,
I'm
you got the
wondering,
laugh.
like most comics, is there a dark side to you?
Yes, I guess there is. I have, I mean, it's been quite well documented over the years, especially when I went through my divorce. I suffered from a bit of depression. I mean, I was wretched with it, really. I just couldn't quite come to terms with why my marriage ended. But although I knew deep down inside, I was partially to blame, but the way I was behaving at that time made it very difficult for my wife to be happy with me, because I was basically so enwrapped in my own self-being, but I was worrying about work. My career was teetering a little bit, and it made me unhappy. And a lot of people, yourself included, realised I was becoming a bit self-obsessed and a bit frustrating to be with. I brought that unhappiness back home, made my wife unhappy, and she found happiness somewhere else. And sadly, it destroyed our marriage, and that's very sad, and I have to live with that.
Was it very hard during those depressive years to actually go on stage and be funny and make people laugh?
No, that actually cured me. That helped me by going on stage. That was the time I could come out, I could focus on telling jokes, focus on being funny. I mean, at the time, in the first few weeks when I was going on the stage and trying to make everyone happy, and I'd be crying up to the point where I walked to the side of the stage, go on and be, well, hello boys and girls, and hello folks, and then you come off and then you're all miserable again. And although occasionally everybody gets a bit down, you know, it hasn't come back at the way it did at that time. It was a very bad time. It was like grief, and it was a horrible period of my life. And I managed to get through that with the love of my children and my family.
So do you think you're a stronger man now?
Yes. Oh, yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, don't they? That's what they say. You know, I always remember my father saying to me, you know, if you can make one person laugh, then you're rubbish. You've got to make a lot more people laugh.
We must talk, of course, about the charity in detail, the Rhys Daniels Trust.
Yes.
And very sadly, they lost 2 children, which was unbearable.
Yes, they had 2 children, Rhys and Charlie, and instead of letting that make them sink into the depths of despair, they had enormous strength together, and they created these wonderful homes, respite homes, for children and for families and parents of terminally ill children, where the families can go and be near their children and even have the children come there, and it's a fantastic thing. Fantastic. And I've been involved in this for several years, and all my charity things, I'm patron of a few others, all those charity things are children's charities, because I'm fortunate enough to have 3 gorgeous girls, which you'll probably see pictures of around the house. And I'm a very, very lucky man. So, you know, and long may that continue.
Absolutely. Bobby's clearly very passionate about this charity, so hope we raise as much money as possible. Now, whilst we've been chatting, I think Vicky spotted yet another collection of memorabilia.
Hey, Paul.
Uh-huh.
Now, look. You know he's great mates with Cliff, don't you? Now, I don't know if he's going to agree with this, but I think this is going to be... We've got to persuade him about this, because this is absolutely classic stuff. This is a signed original from Cliff, and this actual tennis thing he wore as well. Now, I know this is special to him.
OK.
Should we call him in and see?
Yeah, let's have a word, eh?
Bobby!
Yeah.
Come here, honey.
Let's have a look at it.
What have you found? Well, this is all the Cliff stuff.
It's amazing, all this.
Gloria.
Great.
This is
I
amazing.
know. Well, you have the 10x8, of course, personally signed by him, the top of the photograph.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tell you what, this one's really interesting, because this is, by the look of it, a limited edition print of an original painting.
This celebrates his whole career. You've got Heathcliff down there, you've got the Move It days up there with the piano, you've got the picture of him looking now like he does now.
Yeah.
Like that with the thing.
And you and I know about the Cliff jacket, because what's good about this jacket is that Cliff's sweat is on this.
Cliff, yes, his DNA. His DNA. My DNA is on this jacket.
And then the hat, of course, is very significant.
Yes, now this is a very important hat, because this is something that Cliff fans would die for.
Is that signed as well?
It's a signed
Yes.
hat. Wow. Cliff signed it. And when he was 60 years old, we went on Cliff's cruise. He asked us to go, and Gloria was there, and we'd sailed all around the Med, and we all had these hats given. And this is from that cruise.
Wow.
I'm not particularly want to give this away.
I know you do.
No, there were only 87 of them made.
Yes, there was 87, wasn't there?
I think the best thing to do here, actually, is to split these up. I mean, you've got some personal memorabilia from Cliff himself. I mean, that's really where the market is. I mean, you find lots of autographs out there of all the big stars, bits of paper that have been signed. But to have personal items of clothing belonging to somebody is a real winner.
So, price-wise, what do you think?
Well, I mean, these really could go anywhere, and I think if we get a couple of people who really are Cliff fans coming along, then we're going to get a good price for both of these. So I think what we should do is to split the photograph, the tennis jacket and the cap.
And the cap, as one
lot.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Yeah, and if I was saying at least £100 upwards just for that lot, and see what happens on the day, all right? And then this here, you're right, it celebrates his whole career. So if I said... £100 for each lot, just to get them into the auction. But if we get, a real Cliff fanatic or 2 fans together, who knows where they'll end up.
And of course, if we can't get rid of that, you can always have my Rolf Harris wobble board. Signed by the brother. So Bobby, use it with rhythm. Cheers, Ralph.
Hey!
Can you tell what it is yet, folks?
This makes a great sound, doesn't it?
It's a fantastic, and he is famous for that, obviously.
He is, yes.
That's special,
Yeah,
So how much do you think for this?
But that really is a marvellous item. I mean, items like this don't turn up at all now. I mean, Rolf Harris is one of those artists now that sells in his own right. Even though he's still alive, his paintings do fetch quite a lot of money. So if we put that in, again, £100 or £200 and just see how it goes. So
As much as that?
Yeah.
That's great. But we come now to the final total. This is it. You started off wanting how much?
£500. The monkey.
500 quid. The monkey. And this is going towards your Rhys Daniel Trust. Well, I've been adding it all up, and this has really boosted everything.
Fabulous.
Because guess what you've got? Oh, give me a wobble.
Hang on.
You got £950. Yay!
Scores on the board. Now,
Isn't that good?
you're my favourite, Gloria, my favourite.
We have certainly had a giggle with Bobby and Vicky today, but luckily we managed to get some rummaging done as well, and it's a pretty star-studded lineup heading off to auction. Vicky's sending that cushion made by the Beverley sisters, aided by the great entertainer Liberace. It's valued at around £50. And I can't wait to see Bobby on the rostrum, selling that colourful kimono he wore in Panto. Paul hopes it'll make a fairy tale £50. But our most exciting items are the 3 Cliff Richard and Rolf Harris lots. Valued at £100 each, they could be the key to our sale room success. Still to come on Cash in the Celebrity Attic. Bobby's sorry to see some of his lots go.
It's out my house now, isn't it?
And it all adds up. Look at the little lip is quivering.
And he'll try anything to get the bidders' attention.
So, what do we bid for this wonderful piece of art of Cliff?
But will we be laughing or crying when the final hammer falls?
Well, I think you could say we had a very lively and unpredictable time when we visited comedian Bobby Davro and his girlfriend Vicky at Bobby's home in Surrey. Now, we find all sorts of collectibles and memorabilia from Bobby's career, and so we brought them here to the Sworder's auction rooms in Essex. And just to remind you, Bobby wants to raise around £500 for his favourite charity. So let's hope that the bidders don't clown around too much today and dig nice and deeply when his items go under the hammer.
There are certainly plenty of antiques for sale here today, but will Bobby's star-studded memorabilia attract the bidders' attention as well? There's a lot of our target riding on the Rolf Harris and Cliff Richard lots. So does expert Paul Hayes think they'll get the sale room singing to their tune?
Paul, you know that you are actually my favourite singer, really. I've listened to you so many times in Cash in the Attic. But it's an interesting lot that Bobby's produced here. And Bobby being a good mate as well, it sort of gives it a good provenance, doesn't it?
It's really strange because these are unique items, you know, to have his original tennis jacket, original cap that he's worn. I mean, these things can't be replaced.
You never know, we might have the fans in today and they'll snap them up.
If we get a living doll, we might get 500.
Well, I'm so looking forward to seeing Bobby up on the podium, you know, not only doing the Cliff stuff, but also in the kimono.
Well, I'm not looking forward to that, but there we are. There's about to be a few jokes in there.
I tell you what, I know that they've arrived, so shall we go and say hello?
Come on then.
Somehow I think we're in for a real fun day. And fingers crossed we'll see some great prices for our lots as well. The sale room's starting to fill up with some very keen-looking bidders, and we spot Bobby and Vicky in the midst of all the activity.
It's our star performer.
Hey, hello,
how are you?
Gloria.
Good morning.
How
Good
are you?
morning. Are you looking forward to the day?
So looking forward to it, aren't we?
But Vicky, tell the truth now. Is Bobby having any second thoughts now about getting rid of some of the stuff?
You've got slight cold feet on a couple of things.
Oh, I have a little bit. Well, I
Yes.
discovered, right, that maybe my lamps are very expensive.
Well, they're actually part of a garniture set. They would have had a clock in the middle, and it's very difficult to get the clock that matches. So as a pair of lamps, they're ormolu, they're onyx. I mean, £100 or so, that sort of price.
That's all
they're
right.
rubbish.
Let them stay.
Are you sure?
Someone told me they were worth a fortune.
The thing is, Vicky, if we don't get the auction started, I think he's going to be taking everything home.
You will. We'll take everything back. Let's go.
Let's go then, eh?
I think Bobby's more attached to his lots than he's letting on. But Paul's not so convinced about the lamps, so we'll have to wait and see how they do. Now, the sale room's looking pretty busy, so that's a good sign as we tee off with our first lot of the day.
Now, one of the items I remember from your house was the golf bag.
Yes.
I remember it because of that joke. Have you got 2 pairs of trousers on?
Right, why are we wearing 2 pairs of trousers?
Because you got a hole in one.
Because you get a hole in one.
Hole in one. There we are.
Stick to antiques.
Yeah, I will do.
Starters weight, £20 for it. 10 then. Any interest at £10 for it? Who wants it at £10?
4.
Is that a bid? £10 bid. 12, 15, 18. £18 is bid 18, 20, 22, 25, £28, sir. No. Alden fish at £25.
There you go. That's near enough.
25.
Fantastic. Well done.
Only £5 underestimate, and it's the first cash in the pot. But with a £500 target, we've got a long way to go. Hopefully our fund will be topped up yet again when the box decanter and glasses go under the hammer. We're looking for £40 to £70.
£38, selling at 38. We all finished at £38.
Oh, there we are.
£38.
Just shy of £2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're happy with that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Bobby's happy, we're happy. We've had a steady start to the day and make it a hat trick of just below estimate results when the mantel clock tries its luck on the rostrum.
Selling at £18, all done and finished at £18.
And again comes in slightly under Paul's low-end estimate. Well, it's good to see our lot selling, but it would be even better to see the bidders fighting over items and pushing the prices a bit higher. Bobby certainly has high hopes for our next lot, the pair of lamp bases.
Decorative pair of lamps from Bobby Davro's very own house. £40 for them. 30. £30 is bid. I've £30 bid. I'll take two here now. At £30 is bid. I'll take two here. 32, 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, 48, 50, 5, 60. £60 is bid.
£60.
Helping a good cause here. £60 is bid. 5 anywhere else now. It's a gentleman's bid on the counter. Selling at £60. We all done and finished at £60.
There you go. How's that?
Painful.
Think of the money I spent.
But it proves the point they're not worth thousands.
Yes, yeah.
Oh well, it seems Paul was right to be cautious about the lamps after all. It would have been great to see them make even more cash, but it's all money into the charity fund. The first half of our sale is really flying by, and it's time for some of Bobby's celebrity memorabilia to take centre stage.
Okay, I wish I had the wobble board in my hands at the minute, actually, but it's a cracking wobble board.
I put this in at £100. Let's hope we get two people who really want it.
There we go. Starters off £50 for it. The wobble board, 50, 30, £30, 30 bid, 32, 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, 45 is bid, 48 anywhere now. It's a gentleman's bid, 48, 50, 5, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 5. £85 is bid. Do I see 90 anywhere for the wobble board? Signed as well. At £85 is bid and selling at £85. Are we all done and finished at 85? There you go.
£85. That is
Wasn't that good?
Thank you very much.
That's
the best one.
fantastic.
85.
That's a big addition to our fund so far. Thanks to Rolf for that one. Hopefully it's a sign of good things to come, because there's another musical lot up next. It's the signed poster from Madness, and we're hoping it'll make somewhere between £50 and £100.
£50 for it. £30. Signed Madness poster, £30 is bid. I'll take two where now? 32, 35, 38, 40. So ladies bid at £40. We'll see two anywhere else now. 42, 45, 48,
Yes.
50, 5, 60. £60 is with the ladies. Selling at £60. That's all it's going to be. Selling at £60.
It's madness.
Madness. Complete madness.
£10 over Paul's low-end estimate, and that's what we like to see. With just one more lot to sell before we reach the halfway stage, will the Beverly Sisters cushion find a new home in the sale room? We're looking for £50 for this quirky lot.
Lot number 27 is this woolwork cushion made by the Beverly Sisters and Liberace. Let's start with £30 is bid. At £30 is bid, I'll take 5 on this lot now. At £30 is bid, I've 35, 40, 5, 50. £50 is bid here with me at 55 anywhere else now. At £50, selling at £50.
Good.
Oh, £50.
She's a hint. She's got more money for that than I got from my golf bag. Liberace.
I was thrilled that my lovely cushion sold. Yeah, there's always that horrible fear that when it comes up, that nobody in the room will say anything. So I was really thrilled, and £50 for it as well. I think that's lovely. So I hope the person that actually has got that precious little cushion looks after it.
I'm sure they will, Vicky. And with another £50, the Beverly Sisters and Liberace, of course, really did us proud. Before we take a bit of a break, it's time to see how much of a dent we've made in our target.
Are you exhausted yet?
Absolutely shattered.
I must say the auction moves really fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Now, do you want to know your half-time total?
Oh, that'd be exciting.
Aha.
Yeah.
Well, you were happy, or you would be happy with 500. Yes. But already, with still all the cliff stuff to go, and your lovely console table, you have got 336 pounds.
Oh, we're well on our way then.
So you're not that far off your 500 even at the halfway point. But I thought what would be a good idea is that we'll have a bit of a break and maybe wander around and see if we can find any Cliff fans.
What a good idea. What a good idea.
Surely one of these bidders will want to own a piece of music history. After all, Cliff's been a music icon for over 5 decades and sold a staggering 250 million records. Bobby and Vicky take the chance to look at the other lots on offer, and it seems our comedian is enjoying his auction day so far.
Well, I just found out our half-time results are £336, so I'm pretty excited about it because I wanted to raise £500 and we're well on our way, so fingers crossed for the second half.
If you fancy buying or selling antiques or memorabilia at auction, then be aware that charges such as commission will be added to your bill, so do check the details with your local sale room. The auction is in full swing, so we better get back into position before we miss any of Bobby's lots. I have a feeling that our next one is going to be truly memorable.
Now, this will be the fashion statement of the day. Well, Bobby is going to model the kimono.
Lot number 70, this brightly floral decorated kimono, as modelled in front. Where do we start that? 30. £30 is bid, a lady's bid at £30. So I'll take 5 anywhere. 35, 40, 5, 50, 5, 60, 65. Gentleman's bid at £65. We'll see 70 anywhere else. Selling at £65. Yes. Gentleman's bid at £65. You're
Well done. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Such a lovely boy. And that's our first lot to sell over Paul's estimate. Maybe Bobby's modelling made all the difference. It's time for another music-related lot to try its luck on the rostrum. It's a stylised poster of Frank Sinatra.
Selling at £30. Seated as a bid. Selling at £30.
There you go. We wanted £30. Well done.
Bang on estimate, and it's not a bad price for old Blue Eyes. And the set of 3 Italian prints now follow quickly on his heels.
All done and finished at £80. All done at 80. One more anywhere. 85. At £85. Selling at £85. All done at 85.
That's well within Paul's £70 to £100 estimate, and we're all really impressed. The lots are truly flying by, and the neoclassical mirror and table are up next. Valued at £150 to £250, they're our most expensive lot, and tugging at a few heartstrings as well.
This is something I didn't want to give away.
And why did you decide to give it away?
Just sitting there gathering dust. I thought, oh, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Go for it.
Always buy it back.
£100 for it. 50 then. Any interest at £50 in it? £50 is bid. At 50, 55, 60, 5. 70, sir? 75, 80, 5, 90.
Here it goes.
Selling at 90, 95, 100. £100, 110, 120. Going to sell at £120. The gentleman's bid here at £120. All done. That's yours, sir.
So, how do you feel? Sad?
A little sad on that item, but you know, I'll let it go, and it's out my house now, isn't it?
And it all adds up. Look at the little lip is quivering.
At least £120 has eased the parting blow a little. I have a feeling that our £500 target is safe by now, but with 3 more lots to go, I hope the pounds keep rolling in. Our next lot is another heavyweight value-wise. We're looking for £100 to £125 for the boxing picture.
It's with me still at £100, and we're selling at £100. We're all done and finished now at £100.
There you go, £100.
Excellent.
That is really good.
Paul's estimates are proving pretty spot on today, and long may it continue as our final 2 lots take centre stage.
Now, we have very high hopes for all the Cliff memorabilia today, and this is the first item that is set to limited edition print.
Yes.
It's a really important issue.
Is it signed as well?
It is signed.
It is
yeah.
signed.
So you are going to have to sell this. So away you go.
I'll get my best Cliff head on. I'll be back in a moment.
Can you hear me? Is it all right now? Fine. I'm a big fan of Cliff's. We like that. There's arthritis. And Cliff here, this is it's a montage of all of his ages. You've got a little bit when he was doing Living Doll, and you've also got Cliff down there when he did Heathcliff, the musical, and that picture in the middle is how he truly looks now. And it has been signed by Sir Cliff,
So, what do we bid for this wonderful piece of art of Cliff?
Right, what do we start it with, right? Because I've never done this before, right? What can we start? £50?
£50.
Do we have £50? We have £50 on my left. Do we have 60? 60, thank you, madam. £70? £70? Anywhere? 70 we have, sir, thank you. £80 anywhere? £80, thank you, madam. 90 we have. Do we have £100? Well, I'm picking it up quite quick now. No, £100 we have. £100 we have. Do we have £110 we have on my left. Do we have £120? Even more bids, £120. You bid against yourself, but we'll take it. £120. Well, it's going to charity, isn't it? £120. Do we have 130 anywhere in the room? 120 the bid. Any more bids for the Cliff picture? £120. Sold to that gentleman down there. Enjoy, enjoy.
Our Bobby seems rather at home in the rostrum, and that's an excellent prize for the first of our 2 Cliff lots. Will the bidders dig as deep for the next one, though? It's the cap, tennis shirt and photograph.
So, what am I bid for this? £50 anywhere in the room? £50. £50 we have from the Cliff fan over there. 50, 60 anywhere? £60. 60 we have on my right. Do we have 70? 70 we have. Do we have 80? We have. £90? £90. £100. Do we have 110? 110? £110? £110 we have. Sold again to that young man down there. Thank you very much.
Oh, that is good.
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely.
What a great thing, though, eh?
Fantastic.
I was particularly pleased with the way Cliff Richard memorabilia went today. I was very pleased. He was our little ace up the sleeve. And thank you, Sir Cliff. Should you be watching this, you helped us out big style.
Yes, good old Cliff really did us proud today, giving us a big contribution towards the target. We've had loads of fun in the sale room, and with all of Bobby's lots winging their way to new homes, I have a feeling that our charity fund will be looking pretty healthy. Now, the thing is, you would have been very, very happy with £500, wouldn't you?
I would have been very happy with that.
Well, you're going to be very, 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 very happy because you ended up making £966.
Well played to
Hey,
you.
I'm so pleased for you.
I'm so pleased. Fantastic. They'll be chuffed.
Great result.
And as Cliff's things did well, do you want to sign off as Cliff?
Yeah, well, I just want to say that I'm glad that I made such a contribution to this wonderful, wonderful show. Cash in your attic.
Bobby raised a wonderful £966 for the Rhys Daniels Trust, a charity which provides free accommodation close to hospitals for families of children with serious illnesses. Consultant paediatrician John Price feels it's an invaluable service.
I think when people have very sick children and they're a long way away from their home, having somewhere to go that provides them with comfort, peace and quiet and solace helps the whole family and indeed helps the child recover.
We stayed in the flat for close to 7 months, and if we didn't have the flat, it would have made our life really, really difficult. It would have been so expensive to commute, and I don't know whether I would have been able to have left my son in hospital without knowing what's happening.
The money raised will go towards the running costs, as well as sourcing new properties right across the country.
It'll make caring for children and caring for children's families, it'll make it a lot more comfortable for them. And I hope that they go on to open more and more respite homes.